Hey fans, welcome to this Bally Live presentation of the AVP Chicago Open here on Oak Street Beach in the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. We move over to match number 26, an elimination, a win or die matchup on Survival Saturday, featuring number 9 seed Tim Bomgren and Troy Field facing off against the number 1 seed Theo Brunner and Trevor Crabb. I'm Rob Aspero with Victoria Dennis. Let's get your thoughts on this, even though the match has already got going. Vic.
Yeah, it is going to be absolutely brutal. I mean, for those of you following along with the drama, it has been off the charts. And for Crabb and Brunner to go through the Buttinger Evans games and all the emotions and all the highs and lows of that battle and the drama that unfolded was absolutely insane. They have to come back and win this in the contenders bracket because Trevor Crabb, well, he's trying to three-peat here at Chicago, something that hasn't been done since '85.
And who are those guys that we know? The legends, Javi Dodd, the last to do it. And we'll apologize ahead of time for the technical difficulties. Our courtside mics have gone down, and we have staff trying to remedy that problem. So Victoria and I will try and take you through as best we can as we see that knuckle shot winner by Bomgren go over Brunner for the winner, tied up at 2s.
Yeah, we can definitely expect both of these teams to have an absolute battle here. And Trevor having some sassy fun with it as he has been quite the fan favorite villain here, solidifying their spot in the AVP League by winning the Manhattan Beach Open.
Well, backset action by Bomgren as Field just lays down the leather on that blast, tying it up at 3s.
Yeah, take a look here. Troy does a great job of swinging up and through that ball, forcing that ball to be passed out of bounds.
Brunner going high off the block of Field, 4-3 on the switch. Take an opportunity.
Field.
Oh, did we miss a little exchange at the net there, Vic?
I think that Trevor just likes to talk. I mean, weird for me to say that, right? And Field, we know, has a very vivacious personality, but there was a smile on Troy's face there when they were going under the net. Just fun, friendly banter, I would say.
Friendly chirping, right? Bumps that to the right pin as see Bomgren go wrist away on that winner. I'm going to address some of the comments in the crowd chat. Yes, would like to see both these teams be in, and I wish that the broadcast or the tiebreaker could be broadcast, but you know, who could have foreseen this was going to happen? A tiebreak for that final spot on the women's side.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the drama was going to be hot and heavy in Chicago, and it really has lived up to the expectation. We've talked about the league all summer long, and it's really coming to a forefront here Saturday, late afternoon.
Bomgren off the block of Brunner, and Brunner knocks it down on 2 in that high line area, 6-4. Brunner, the former Gaucho, taking care of business, standing at 6-7 from Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Yep, and he reads so well up there when he's blocking. He pays attention to where the attacker's approach is and tries to take as much space as possible.
See Bomgren delivered down the line, the 6'4" defender from Woodbury, Minnesota. Actually, switch blocking. He got the last couple big blocks in the last match on court 1 when he was last on here. Crabb on the attack, swatted up top, and Troy Field with a little fist pump.
Great delay block there from Troy Field. We can see him wait on that high set and then just jump into that seam, his right hand grabbing and throwing that ball down.
See that jump serve by Tim Bomgren missed wide. You can see that contact from that angle. They just totally mishit that thing. Field getting up. Did it get the corner? Yes, it does. 7-7 on the switch. And the crowd gathering around our court, one of the final few courts in play here at the Chicago Open.
Yes, everybody trying to get as much action as they can. And some loyal fans I see following Trevor to the elimination match.
Oh, big blast out of the right side by Crabb.
Never say never, though, right? We know that Bomgren and Field, they have a long history together. They've played many tournaments. So anything is really possible here in this game.
Bomgren swings to the left side, bangs it off of Crabb, and has a ricochets out of play, tying it up at 8.
I like Bomgren going fast with his arm. Pay attention to his approach. See how he has a little skip and then he gets his feet to the ball at that apex of the set and doesn't delay when he swings.
Brunner steps in on that short serve by Bomgren, kept in play, goes over, and Brunner knows what to do with his free balls coming over the net.
Yeah, what a scoopy there by Bomgren. Field being able to chase it down. So I love the effort and attitude there from Bomgren and Field. But it's Brunner that takes care of that overpass.
Forcing it through is Field on Brunner. And little chat action going there. I don't know if Field's directing that towards the R1. Oh, it's because the ball landed back on Brunner's head. Serving 9. Great save by Bomgren, goes up and over. Crabb blocked at the net by Field. Look at that diving save by Bomgren. Optioned over by Field. Another Bomgren dig. Bomgren, gator dig by Brunner. Oh, the longest rally of the day, finished by none other than TP or Tim Bomgren. A little shimmy shake by Troy Field, playing to the fans.
Yeah, having fun after this extended rally. It's so important to have patience during these long extended rallies. It's okay that teams are going to be digging these balls. You're at that level. You have to expect them to make these plays. So the endurance to stay locked in is crucial. Really good on Bomgren and Field.
Service misses long. I had to award some Valley Bucks online to Bro, who said we need a Troy Field dunk ball block. Love that video online on Instagram.
Hey, got it. I got it. Thank you. Hey, guys, don't touch the line.
Late call on the ace, but looks like the officials.
Come under the net or something.
Renee Marcellus going to do ball check protocol. Taking that long, slow walk like when you watch international football. What do you think? In or out, fans?
Have to see from that angle, but that point.
That was served long. Point going to Bomgren Field. 11-10 at the technical timeout. And Victoria, what do we think of the action we're seeing here so far?
Yeah, well, both teams are hitting pretty decently. Bomgren and Field right now, they're winning the hitting percentage battle. They're hitting .692, and Brunner and Crabb, they are batting .429. So pretty good across the board. But the difference right now, Bomgren and Field, they have 5 digs to their names, only 2 for Crabb and Brunner. So that is the difference right now in the game. Serving hasn't really been too much of a factor. Nobody is driving home any aces right now. Are they applying the service pressure? Yes. So they're both trying to get each other out of system because they know both teams are pretty hard to stop when they have those in-system plays.
I love how AVP needs more streams, caught some of the audio. Apparently someone, I'm not going to name the athlete, come under the net or something. Come on. And then he hashtags fighting words. Yep.
We
if
love
you're-
a good villain, Rob. We love a good villain and a good plot, good storyline. And I think everybody knows who their favorite villain is.
That's Gru of Despicable Me.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Out of the technical timeout to 11, serving to 10. Tim Bomgren steps back to the service line. 70 AVP events for Bomgren. Best AVP finish, a first at Virginia Beach in 2022 with Pyotr Marciniak. Crabb on the attack. Picked up by Bomgren, but he's unable to get back up on the touch by Field. 11s.
Bomgren, such a dynamic athlete. He really does wait and then make his defensive moves. And you can see him at the last second being able to change direction there and extend that arm. Bomgren standing at 6'3".
Going off the block is Field. 12-11.
Yeah, Field, we know, has those hops. He's 6'4", but is able to reach so high with his approach. We've seen it in many of videos.
Bomgren on blocking duties gets a touch on Brunner's attack and now gets tooled by Brunner.
So we saw a little bit of split blocking action there as Brunner and Field have really had to, as Bomgren and Field really had to battle through the contenders bracket all day today. So they have played a lot of volleyball here at Oak Street Beach.
Bomgren looks to see where the defense is at and he rolls it high line and tags the end line. 13-12.
This is the fourth game for Bomgren and Field, but they seem to continue to get dynamic touches on the ball. They're doing a great job of lifting their set, giving their buddy time to attack.
Left side, left side.
Good read by Bomgren.
You gotta come, gotta come, gotta come.
Crabb picks up the high line ball and hammers it down his line. A little chattering happening through the net there.
Yeah, as we could expect, but Trevor Crabb doing a great job of driving that ball high. He was about 6 feet off the net there, but his point of contact was very, very good.
And
Bomgren just going to that drop shot over the block.
Yep, calm, cool, and collected from him. He's able to have that vision right now. He's back up at the net blocking, so it does look like Bomgren and Field might be split blocking this game.
Grab off the pass. Good touch by Bomgren.
oh no!
Bomgren backed off and was stuck in no man's land and decided to go up to block, which ended up going against them as Brunner puts it away to 14 apiece on the switch. He was indecisive about where to go as he saw him backpedal on that ball.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to keep it funky and keep it weird, and good things will happen on your side.
Bomgren tagging the sideline.
I like him going sharp cross there, coming out of the middle. We can see his pass was true middle. He doubled down with that lefty swing to the sideline.
I'm enjoying the humorous comments in the crowd chat right now. I'll read them when we get a break here. And Trevor. Big blast out of the right. 15 all.
Great move there, feet to ball on that pass, and a tempo set that they do love to run.
Field on the pass, and Bomgren on two. Catches Brunner running up to the net.
Yeah, such a window of opportunity. Very smart here. He was able to see that window option was open as Brunner was running up to the net. It was an in-system pass from his partner Field. Well executed.
Brunner putting it away in the middle, tied up at 16s. Slow pace to our set right now, Victoria.
Yeah, well, you know, There was a lot of emotions happening last game for Brunner and Crabb. And then this is the fourth game for Bomgren and Field. So the gas tanks are pretty empty for both teams, but Brunner will go ahead and clamp down on a block.
Brunner getting up on Bomgren to put it back, and they tilt the seesaw their way with the lead here in set number 1. Field poking it high line. One-hand dig by Bomgren. Overpass over on one, and Crabb unable to control it. Brunner made every effort to try and get to it, but just couldn't extend far enough.
Yeah, what a rally. Bomgren and Field. Take a look here. Field, the over on one tomahawk. Making Trevor a little frustrated there.
Ties are scored 17s.
Could these teams possibly be playing for the same city in the league? We'll find out.
Big blast by Crabb and Brunner. 2-ball termination.
As he should, contacting that ball out in front of his nose. We can see in this replay in front of his nose, and then quick cross body. Great angle here as well from our team, showing exactly how you drive that ball to the sideline.
Field will be soft roll winner, tying it up at 18s.
Yeah, an off shot there from Field. He was able to see that left side of the court was well open as Crabb shifted to the right side.
Crabb taking a rip. 19-18.
Good read there from Field. He took a step into that seam. Watch Field here identify a hard-driven ball, just wasn't able to get there in time. A fast swing from Crabb.
You short. Push.
Ball to the left hand, and Field just floating, looking for Brunner on the block, and then cut it for the winner.
Yeah, they just look calm, cool, and collected on their side. They've played a lot of tournaments together, and they're able just to score points.
19-19. Jumping and thumping, Trevor Crabb down the line, and we have our first set point.
Yeah, that line wide open as Bomgren and Field doubled down there on the angle. Line for days there on that swing.
Bomgren off the block of Brunner, and we're going extended, tied at 20s.
And overtime already in set number 1. Something that we could expect here. I love this option play from Bomgren. Wide open.
Go.
Out of system play, but Trevor Crabb still able to do business.
Yeah, that's just such a high-level play, being able to control that ball right there. It's an out-of-system pass, lifted set to then put his partner back into system just a bit. But great hand-to-ball there from Crabb.
Set point number 2, serving to 20. Field lining up, he goes through the uprights of Brunner. Blackjacks, 21-21.
Yeah, calm, cool, and collected on that pass set there for Bomgren and Field.
Really aggressive swing for Field, but I think I'd be doing the same thing if I had the hops that he did. Going down the line by Bomgren. Bomgren now in transition. Brunner on the option. He kind of hesitated there and left everyone guessing on the other side of the net.
Yeah, a slight hesitation, but we see here the roll shot, and they both saw it into that corner.
Set point number 3, serving at 21. Bomgren. This is just long. And set number 1 going to Brunner and Crabb, 23-21 in a very evenly matched face-off here on our final match on court 1, Victoria.
Yeah, I mean, we could expect again, right, for this game to go back and forth. Trevor Crabb trying to do a three-peat here in Chicago. Pretty sure he claimed that he's the king of Chicago at some point in time. But Bomgren and Field, they're playing a pretty good ball game right now. They're batting .586 on the game. They have 8 digs for their side of the net, 5 for Brunner and Crabb. But it was Brunner and Crabb being able to push 1 to 2 more points there at the end of the ball game. But right now, both teams are hitting pretty well. They're both well into the 500s. I mean, it's a tight game. It's going to come down to who can dig to convert 1 to 2 more points in a rally, and that'll be the ball game.
You know, we've been talking about the league, and both these teams have already qualified, so no extra things at stake here on match except for who wants to win more money and advance farther into the Chicago Open.
And a little bit of pride, Rob.
A little chatter for the fans. That's what everyone's looking for.
Totally unprovoked.
The comment that caught my attention online by AVP needs more streams. I'd love to see a finals with Trevor and Theo and Miles and Chase. The CW will have to blur out the fist fighting for national primetime TV, LOL. I had a big smile on my face when I read that one.
LOL indeed.
Starting off our second set, Field starts off with a service error. Really low on net. You think the Shadows to be playing tricks on him where he's serving from, Vic?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, they've been able to adjust fairly well. Their serving was pretty consistent in set 1. I think he was just trying to really drive that serve.
Rolling it over the top is Bomgren. As I read that, I had a little chuckle because I got another comment in the chat zone by bro, somebody push somebody. Maybe it's late in the day and I'm just easy to amuse right now. Brunner popping a cap in the corner, 2-1.
Yeah, great swing there from Brunner. He has a full approach on this ball. His bread and butter are those high balls when he gets the opportunity to use that 6-7 reach.
Brunner on the attack, a little choppy. Goes up and over on the second ball by Brunner. Fake attack by Field on the showboating. Brunner's going to get a swing, and he hits it off the cable, misses just wide.
My goodness, if I'm Bomgren, I'm saying you better win this point, Troy Field, and a good thing that they did. Troy committed to the cause there, the Instagram cause on that jump set.
Field back to serve. Straightening up the lines on the court. Why is the R2 running all the way over there to do that? Knocking it down again. Trevor Crabb.
Yeah, calm and steady on this side out. I like Brunner taking that seam ball, giving Crabb that opportunity to go with the flow on that pass into that deep corner.
Yeah, speaking of shoves, I'm waiting for the video memes to come out with Trevor Crabb. The first Kevin Barnett reference, Vlade Divac back in the day. And look at that backyard barbecue by Troy Field. They're doing a little hocus pocus running that offense.
Yeah, you know, even though Bomgren lives in Minnesota and Field is in Southern California, this team knows each other. They've played with each other. They were the breakthrough team in 2019 in Volley Magazine, and they have a lot of road dog mileage together.
Return to center by Field on Brunner. Makes it 4-3 on the side switch. Lining up on Brunner on that left pin. Brunner dug by Bomgren, who's been playing phenomenal defense. All right, Crabb ends it, knocking it down at the net.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I like that scramble play, but he said, just get this off my side. Another elimination match happening, Rob. Next to us, it's Dahlhauser, Josh, Crabb, and Sander in a third set.
Ball rolls off the cable and down. Point going to Brunner and Crabb. Back air by Field gives them that lead here in our second set. Stopping and a popping is Troy Field. Taking it like a man is Trevor Crabb. That allowed a sound off of Field's hand and off the dig by Crabb.
Yeah, quite a pop there off the chest. Maybe trying a soccer move, but great swing there from Troy.
Crabb back to serve, up 6-5. Another pop by Field off of Crabb.
Yeah,
turning up the volume as soon as he hits it.
All gas, no brakes here for Troy Field, unloading on these volleyballs. Not afraid of Brunner's block.
Score's tied at 6s after the error. Pressing 7-6 on the service error. Yeah, Troy Field's pulverizing some balls right now. And Bomgren off speed action goes down the line, 7-7 on the switch.
Yep, exactly what we saw in the first set, right? Both teams have their rhythm, they have their flow, they're both siding out at a high percentage. Maybe Bomgren will be able to earn 1 to 2 more blocks for his side to potentially push it to 3.
Double contact called on the set, called nice and fast. No argument had, so taking responsibility, Trevor Crabb. Batteries out of emotional energy right now.
Yeah, our refs want to see faster hands, so they're okay with a spin, but less lift on the ball.
Service ace by Field. That ball had a little tail on it.
Yeah, it sure did. Field saying, tag, you're it.
This one goes into the net. It's still positive gain for Bomgren and Field, up 9-8. Crabb listed at 6'5", the defender from Honolulu, Hawaii. Big swing by Field. Free ball. Field goes off speed for that cross-court cutty.
I love that finesse shot from Troy Field. Take a look here. He kicks out wide for a set, almost there on the pin, and caught Crabb dancing back there in the sand.
Brunner, looks like it missed just wide. Gonna wait for the call here. Looks like it does tag the sideline. Immediate call. I believe that's Suzanne Lowry. I didn't see who was working the R2 position. I didn't check before I jumped on here.
Yeah, these games happening very fast, back-to-back all day. Almost every game here on Court 1 going 3 sets.
Bomgren off the block of Brunner. Has to go. And Crabb, the trickler winner.
Sometimes that net is your best friend or worst enemy, and right now Crabb is able to use it to his advantage.
Bomgren, such the smooth operator right now. He shows very little emotion and just takes care of business.
Right, and that's his game. He is calm, cool, and collected on the court. He doesn't yap too much at the other team or at all. He really just reflects how he feels in his game. He's a baller. He comes out, he says what he has to say with his gameplay. His actions speak louder than his words.
Well, coming off that emotional match are Trevor, Crabb, and Theo Brunner. But I can't help but think of maybe a t-shirt with a hashtag that says somebody push somebody.
That would be a good one.
Yep, AVP needs more streams. I'm going to ride that one for a while. That's just funny.
Well, the one side of the semifinals bracket is solidified. It'll be Buttinger and Evans, the 4 seed, taking on the 3rd seed, the Taylors.
Already cemented.
And on the other side of the bracket, the winner of this match will take on Benish and Partain.
Regardless, it's going to be a good couple of matches on the men's side of the bracket.
It really will. If Brunner and Crabb win this and go into the semis, it'll be a rematch of the MBO finals just 2 weeks ago.
And if Taylor Crabb signs a shoe deal before playing in that semifinal.
Yeah.
Which has been another storyline. The Crabb's taken over the storylines here in the Chicago Open. Shoes and shoves.
Yes.
Bomgren again, just attacking that sideline.
Yeah, tapping that right in. These athletes train this. When you're a lefty attacking on the right side, your angles are that much more drastic. So that's how he's able to carve that inside the block so well.
Great dig by Bomgren, but a lot of bodies on the floor yet again on the attack by Crabb. Look at the stat line put out by Nation 2369. 28 blocks for Sander in 5 matches.
I would say that is well above average. Thank you for that stat.
Sander is a super freak on the block. He's just able to get those touches and knockdowns when they're needed.
Panther there in the chat, Rob said, best commentator comment of the tourney, quote, shoes and shoves. Sounds like their new podcast or restaurant.
Yeah, dude.
That's going to be the theme for the Chicago Open, shoes and shoves.
You heard it first with Rob on the mic.
I'd rather see a grit podcast because I'd be laughing the whole time. I'd be terrible on that podcast episode.
Well, go ahead. Hey, you're welcome on Grit anytime.
No look bump set, and Brunner takes the swing, dug up and over by Bomgren.
Get it, Joy.
Crabb knuckles it in the chicken wing by Bomgren, and the field knocks it into the net. Oh, Bomgren is picking everything up right now.
Yeah, he is all over the place using that 6'3" reach of his, and field just didn't turn in time. Maybe that pass was a little too tight to go, but Bomgren staying patient back there.
Dropping floater over towards field and gets it through both Brunner and Crabb to go up 14-13. Losing track of the score, he had Bomgren erased on the side switch.
Yeah, you know, you play so many games and so many sets in a day. Sometimes you have to double check
shove
that
someone,
score.
Vic. He wanted to shove someone, I'm pretty sure.
Let's stir the pot.
And Crabb able to go wrist away off the block, tying it up at 14s.
Yeah, great side switch there. I think both teams playing at a high level with a side out percentage right now.
Just keeping it in play is Field on the out of system play.
All right, there you go. Come on, come on.
Brunner anticipated shot down the line, picked up by Bomgren. Free ball coming.
Whoa!
Crabb lining up, and a double is called on the set. And Trevor is mad. He's going to shove the referee.
Is he going to shove the referee or is he going to shove Brunner? I don't know. The fans, I love a good banter.
Crabb tugged by Field this time, knuckled over by Bomgren. Brunner blocked by Bomgren again.
Go. Get up, get up, get up.
Touch by Field. Big swing off of Crabb and taking it into downtown Chicago. It's Troy Field.
That was the play of the tournament for Field and Bomgren. Field, what a dig in transition, stabbing that ball. Bomgren telling him to get up, which he did, to put that ball away.
Field is all corn dog or rolled around in the sand, got up and sent a message, a missile right off of Crabb and into downtown Chicago. Loving the highlights.
Yeah, highlights indeed. Both athletes breathing pretty heavy after that battle. I mean, let's look at this replay. A diving tomahawk from Field, lifted set in transition. All you got to do there, you swing hard and through that ball when you feel that momentum after the dig. Field might have gotten a mouthful of sand there, but wow, play of the tournament for me for Bomgren and Field.
16-14 our score with Bomgren and Field leading. Now, Vic, it's still within reach for Brunner and Crabb, and they definitely have the ability to come back in this set.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's plenty of ball game left. A 2-point lead is looking nice right now for Bomgren and Field. Are they able just to sustain a first ball side out is the question. So Brunner and Crabb, they need to work for a couple, quote, real points, which means they have to earn in transition. But with Field back there right now, he's touching a lot of volleyballs.
Field back to serve, up 16-14, trying to force a third set tiebreak. And knocking it down is Crabb out of the right side.
Yeah, great play from Crabb, who's able to fight that pass, lifting it forward. That's the first ball side out that his team needed.
Field red, and Crabb tries to go over on one, but goes out of play instead, 17-15.
Yeah, there you go, just like that. Field coming in here. It's a tight set, but he beats the block by getting his hand to ball, and Trevor just couldn't answer back.
Doused one up top by Field. Crowd loving the action. A little extracurriculars going on.
Yeah, it's the old grab and throw. The fans have seen that on Troy Field's Instagram. We know he has a couple trending videos. Let's listen in.
With the slam dunk block that was requested earlier on in the crowd chat.
All right, let's go.
You pushed it. I'm gonna fall. I know, but it's still like touching us. You made such a big. No, I'm falling back.
What is the crowd chanting? Can you make that out, Vic?
I am not sure. Are they chanting throw?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, let's go.
And swinging high was Field looking for that tool, and he successfully does so to go up 18-16.
Yeah, there you go. Field answering right back, taking advantage of that big block in front of him. Field came in to tool that block, one of the many tools used at this level. Can't shy away from that big block in front of you.
Brunner takes a swing, goes just outside the block of Bomgren.
running down the middle again. A set that he likes to hit. We see teams find comfort either running on the pins or running down the middle. Brunner loves that high set in the middle.
Big swing by Field, but clamping down is Brunner at that outside pin.
Yeah, taking advantage of a pretty tight set. He stayed patient. It was a scramble play. Identified Troy's shoulder was leaning to that right side and clamped down.
18-18 here in our second set.
My call here. Way up and down.
Bomgren going wrist away on the cut shot.
Again, calm, cool,
19-18.
and collected, right? Bomgren, he's been on tour for a while. He's been here since 2013. He knows what it takes. He is a level-headed athlete.
Bomgren almost had it, but Crabb ripping out of the right side. Score's tied at 19s. All right, everyone, apologize for our technical difficulties. It's set point to 21. Vic, got to help on the call here. We are going blind here.
Yeah, right now the score is Bomgren and Field leading 22-21. Now a side out from Brunner and Crabb. It's 22-22. We also are seeing the same feed that you are seeing. So we're going in blind, going ahead, going to do a radio call based off of the live stats being updated here.
Well, you still like the comments. Put the plug back in. Yeah, I think the whole truck went down from what we've been told, but now Bomgren and Field with a 23-22 lead. So that's a set point number 3 serving to 22.
2 blocks for Field in the second set, 1 block for Brunner.
And the set goes a Bomgren and Field way, going to a third set tiebreak, 24-22, taking the equalizer.
Yeah, something that we obviously have seen almost every single game on court 1 today has gone 3, I think, except for one match, Rob, that was earlier. But right now, everything is on the line for Trevor Crabb, in my opinion. He came in, he was, letting everyone know on social media, walking around town, this is my city, this is my town. I can beat any Olympian that comes my way. Well, Trevor, can you? Now's your time to shine. Are you going to push and win this third set to then face your brother in the semis? We'll see. Bomgren and Field, they have that road dog energy together. They've been in this dog fight for a very long time, since 2019. And we have our feed back up and running. So we will be able to see set number 3.
Well, looks like we are back online on site as well. All tied up at 1 set apiece here in our elimination matchup in the Chicago Open. Loser takes a 5th. Winner moves on to the semis, on to Championship Sunday. We're getting ready to start off our 3rd set with Trevor Crabb back to serve. And Bomgren, Mr. Reliable so far in this match.
Float serve, putting that pressure on Field. Yeah. And then just like that, a little bit of communicating.
Great pull dig by Bomgren. Does he deliver in transition? Yes, he does.
Will it be a possible upset? Do the fans consider it an upset? Maybe.
Yeah.
Field back to serve. And sneaking it by the block is Trevor Crabb. Get on the board at 1, looking at 2.
Yep, he let that ball drop just a little bit. And it was an early block there from Bomgren. He was able to be on his way down.
Brunner with the tail on that jump serve. Bomgren looking, and Bomgren again.
Bomgren right now, for me, he's the AVP of this game. He is a veteran elite athlete. He does the same thing, copy and paste when he comes into approach. You have to stay true on him.
Yes! Boy, Field gets a hold of one of those attacks by Crabb. Shuts it down, up 4-1 on the turn.
What a lead early out. A fan favorite, Bomgren, a native to the Midwest. Lives in Minnesota. Played college ball over in Wisconsin.
Bomgren trying to thread that needle on that short serve in area 2, but goes into the net instead. 2 looking at 4.
I like that serve, though. Bomgren right now, he's playing that chess game back there. He's trying to move around Brunner and Crabb, trying to work them out of system.
And line. I go. Yeah, right here.
Bomgren dug off that roll shot. Crabb. And goes off of Bomgren. Kind of stuck in no man's land between where Field and Bomgren were at.
Yeah, it's a great shot from Trevor. He used those high hands. Bomgren trying to reach up to grab that ball. Can't cover everything.
Banging away and bouncing it into the crowd is Troy Field.
Yeah, into that splash zone over there. Look at Troy, full speed, double arm lift. Gets his feet to that ball. And follows through on that arm swing.
Chicken wing dig by Field, but Bomgren unable to scoop it back into play.
Yeah, Field was there. He read it. Take a look at him. He shifts directly into that seam. That's the defensive play that they were calling. But that contact of the ball was so high, it hit him in the shoulders we saw there. So great swing. If you're able to tag teams high on defense and paint that back foot of the sideline and end line, you're going to have a very high hitting percentage.
Bomgren dug by Crabb, but nowhere in the reach of Brunner.
Crabb touching volleyballs, but they're not ending in system right now. They're ending up a lot of the time out of system. A 2-point lead
6 serving to 4. And delivering out of the right side. Well, actually, the ball was called long. 5-6. Actually, good swing by Crabb. And finally, Brunner gets a stop on Bomgren, tying it up at 6s.
Yeah, great block there.
Bomgren's had the hot hand on the side.
Yep, leaning into that angle, pressing that hand low over the tape.
Field thumping out of the middle.
Yep, doing what he does best, and that's honestly just swinging away at volleyballs. We can see it's a scramble play. It's a little bit out of system, but how Troy makes this an in-system play is that he keeps his spacing from the ball and from the net, being able to hit it out in front.
Knocking it over on 2 is Brunner, just making the most out of what he had. Pass was low and fast.
Hard to stop that play. Great fast hand.
And left.
Bomgren pulling dig by Brunner goes up and over. Knuckle, does it grab the corner? Yes, it does.
A jumbo shrimp into that corner. Nothing but finesse here in Chi-Town for Bomgren. Lefty pokey. Crabb thinking it's gonna go long.
Surgical strike by Bomgren going coffin corner. Brunner through the uprights of Field, ties it up at 8s.
Yeah, right now, Brunner and Crabb, they're playing a bit on their heels at the moment. Bomgren and Field look very control in this game, even though the score is 8-8.
Bomgren on the option balls, able to put it away.
A first ball side out for Bomgren and Field. They love that option play, and when you're in your 4th match of the day, you start to utilize that play as much as you can in serve receive.
Taking a little time to get some of that sand off of Trevor Crabb. He made the good read and the right move, just deflected in the different direction than he was going. Dropping an ace on the line is Troy Field.
Bomgren and Field making waves here lakeside at Oak Street Beach. Can they prevail?
I think they've become the crowd favorites here at the beach, and knocking it inside the block is Trevor Crabb. Stepped in on the pass to Field. Field drop shot, winner, make that 11-9 on the switch.
Wow, what a play from Field. The off shot play. Crabb moving to his sideline. Field seeing that in his peripheral. Look at here. He sees it, and then boom, back to that sideline.
$11 serving 9. We got a double, I believe, called.
Looks like it. And
No
the
argument.
No. But the fans' energy has shifted here, Rob. We know who the hometown favorite is.
Well, even looking on the crowd chat, TNT has become the crowd favorite. Bomgren loops it over the Brunner block, and Crabb again unable to come up with it. 12-11.
Fans dancing there in the background, having some good fun as the sun sets over Chi-Town. How will it end here on court one? Who will go into the semis?
Brunner dug by Bomgren. Knuckled over on 2 by Field. And Crabb drops a shot in the corner.
Yeah, you can't cover it all, especially when a team's in system like that. They gambled, they gave up that high line. Troy went wide there with his block. That was just a great play from Brunner and Crabb.
Service into the net makes it 13-11. The light is at the end of the tunnel for Team TNT.
Looking at the chat, Red V Tech saying, let's go Timmy and Troy. Keep pushing.
Yo. One.
Tough serve picked up by Brunner. And why not Bomgren? Pops the cap in the corner. We've got match point. TNT serving to 11.
Say it ain't so. I'm going to call him a hometown hero because he lives next door in Minnesota, giving the fans here exactly what they want to see.
The number 9 seed on the verge of taking out the number 1 seed.
One.
And Brunner buys time with a wrist-away winner.
Good side out there from Crabb and Brunner looking to stay alive. It was Crabb trying to do what has not been done.
Taking a timeout, wisely slow to ice the serve, right?
Yeah, smart play there, right? They want to ice the server. They want to slow that server down. And that's what we're seeing here.
Or slow the play down here on the court. But
Slow the play, yes, thank you.
with a play that Bomgren has just come up with here this entire match has been a very phenomenal thing to watch. He has been extremely reliable, not only blocking, but offensively and digging.
Yeah, big time. I mean, Trevor, we heard him loud and clear, him and Brunner trying to showcase that they want to go back-to-back Heritage champs after winning the MBO and giving a post-game very interesting speech. Trevor Crabb looked to be a three-peat here in Chicago, something that hasn't been done since Mike Dodd and Tim Hovland won in 83, 84, and 85. But Bomgren and Field are the team that have a possible match point and into the semis. What will happen?
12 serving to match point number 2.
I do. Normal.
Field with the honors. Yeah! And Field with a bang upset complete as TNT takes down the number 1 seed, Theo Brunner, and Trevor Crabb 2 sets to 1. 21-23, 24-22, 15-12. Vic, let us know your thoughts on what we just witnessed here in our final match of the Chicago AVP Open.
Anything is possible on the AVP and the league right around the corner. We'll see both of these teams into the league, but nothing but smiles here from Bomgren and Field. A calm, cool, and collected game from them. Batting .594 on the ball game. Brunner and Crabb .493. An upset, maybe some may say, but Field and Bomgren, they earned this match. They earned those points. They had 16 digs on the ball game. Bomgren had 13 digs. The next athlete on this court, Crabb, only with 8. Bomgren, he's my MVP here for this ball game.
Well, with that, it's still a great effort for Theo Brunner and Trevor Crabb, finishing our 2024 AVP Chicago Open with a 5th place finish. While moving on, the number 9 seed, Tim Bomgren and Troy Field, as they will be facing the number 2 seed, Andy Benish and Miles Partain. That match will be on Stadium Court tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Central. So with that, we're going to close out our broadcast. Victoria Dennis, absolute pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Rob.
17 matches
You crushed
in
it all
and-
weekend, Rob. You crushed it all weekend.
17 matches in, my voice and my throat are hurting, but it is all worth it. I want to thank all our fans inside the crowd chat, watching and commenting. It's been an extremely fun weekend, but you still have one more day. I'll be watching as a fan tomorrow, and hopefully all of you will be doing the same on the CW, because some solid matchups on the men's side. Buttinger Evans against the Taylors. Bomgren and Field versus Benish and Partain. Jumping on over to the women's side, Vic. Why don't you take that one there? Because my throat is actually kind of hurting right now.
Yeah, over on the women's side, I mean, barn burners all weekend long, right? But who are we going to see in the semis? I'm trying to pull it up right now on my computer screen.
I'll
Oh my
get you.
goodness.
It's Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss versus Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes in semifinal 1, 8:30 a.m. on Stadium Court, and on semifinal 2, 9:30 a.m. also on Stadium Court. You're going to have Tony Rodriguez and Gina Urango facing off against Melissa Umana Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson.
And
Again,
here's something for you, Rob. Those 4 teams are all going to be in the AVP League after the showcase this weekend here in Chicago.
excellent stuff. And one more day to close out the AVP Chicago Open. Fans, thank you again for hanging with us here on this presentation, courtesy of Bally Live. Until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your evening, Victoria. You too as well, and look forward to catching you all sometime on the beach.